Wrestling fans, we have lost one of the all-time greats today. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff passed away at the age of 71. And I can remember, gosh, it had to have been 1984, maybe 83, Paul Orndorff coming on the scene in the WWF and being a big part of the build-up to the very first WrestleMania, which of course was in 1985. But before that, Orndorff was a part of the WWF, newly coming in, and there was something about him that just really, he was wonderful. The cocky, arrogant heel. He wasn't the big monster like King Kong Bundy or Big John Studd or Kamala, those guys that Hulk Hogan was facing. So Orndorff and Piper and Orton, they were that little clique, but they just worked so well together. And then, of course, at WrestleMania, when Bob Orton hits Paul Orndorff with the cast and Orndorff turns good and sides with Hogan for a while there. And then that heel turn in 1986, the summer of 1986, I remember it so vividly. He attacks Hulk Hogan and then they feud. And what a feud that was. And I really think that if that were more of a modern day situation going on, Paul Orndorff would have won the WWF Championship. I really think that he was probably the closest or one of the closest guys to beating Hulk Hogan during that initial run of Hulkamania. So, and then of course there was the face turn once again and reuniting with Hogan for Survivor Series. And then he had a great run in WCW as well. Took some time off and kind of fell out of there for a bit. In 2005 was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And then, fortunately, Chad and I, my buddy Chad Smart and I, were able to meet Paul Orndorff at a event. I think it was part of WrestleCon in 2012. It was during that WrestleMania weekend. Those meet and greets are very short and sweet, very brief, but I can tell you, sometimes you experience guys and they have an attitude or whatever the case may be. Paul Orndorff was a class act and was very nice to us. We took pictures, we talked for a second. I had heard very recently that he wasn't doing very well, and unfortunately we got the news that he is no longer with us, but definitely an icon, and I would defy anyone. Well, I know there were fans who have other cage matches in mind, but that cage match in early 1987 with Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship on Saturday Night's Main Event, to me, is the best cage match of all time. It's my all-time favorite cage match. Both of the guys jump out of the cage and, they do the instant replay and the side-by-side, and I still think this guy won. But that was on my brief anti-Hulk Hogan stint that I was on. But, one of the all-time greats will be sorely missed, and my thoughts and condolences go out to the family, friends, and fans of this guy, Mr. Wonderful. Rest in peace.